Research integrity. I've been in the job 10 years, actually almost 11. This is what we do. Every university that gets any sort of federal money, which is pretty much every university, has to at least have a plan. They don't all have to have people, like Steve was talking about, some of the smaller institutions, it's not a big issue, but they still have to have some sort of plan. Larger institutions with a significant number of, let's say, medical hospitals have many research integrity officers because they have a lot of money. And when there's a lot of money and a lot of grants, things can go bad. That's our clever web page, not real exciting. There's some hot links there on the left, including our procedures and some other things. If somebody comes to my office with a research misconduct allegation, a typical case, there's two players. There's a protagonist and an antagonist. There's a complainant and a respondent. Not always that way, but usually. I don't take sides. I'm not on anybody's side. I'm on the side of the procedures. I apply the procedures. That was the most difficult thing I had to learn about the job, particularly when you have a student coming in there that feels he or she's been abused by a faculty member in research, which may or may not be true. I'm still 48% faculty, so I tend to get a little excited and distraught if I think that happened. But I can't show it, I can't act that way. So we're totally neutral, we apply the procedures, period. Well, what is research misconduct? Well, this is the long definition. The important parts are in red. Every university has a definition. They all have to have the federal definition weaved in, as we do, but they vary slightly from university to university, but basically they're all pretty much the same. And I won't spend a lot of time on that. I'm doing a 50-minute presentation here in 10 minutes. How do you know that somebody's really done research misconduct? Maybe it's just they had a bad day. Well, is there a significant departure from accepted practices? Significant departure. Well, we can all agree on that, right? Well, yeah, maybe not. Was it committed intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly? And was the allegation proven by a preponderance of the evidence? In most worlds, preponderance means more than half. Talk to me later if you want to know about other worlds. But basically, that's research misconduct. There are other issues that happen that might not be research misconduct, that aren't necessarily good things. For instance, the National Science Foundation, if you apply for a grant from them, they ask you, do you have any other money that you have obtained to support this project? When they ask you that, they expect an answer and an honest answer. You don't give it to them, you can get in trouble, you can get Dr. Shu in trouble, and nobody likes that. Other compliance things that JR just talked about. How are you treating your animals? Do you have human subjects' permission? So when you do things wrong in this area, it's a double header. It's a twofer. You can get in trouble with JR's people, and you can possibly get in trouble with our office. So those are real important things to keep in mind. As Paul said, ask. So we have another thing that can go wrong with your research, and that's called unacceptable research practices, and that's what I just described. Things that are rules that you should really know when you're doing research, human subjects, whatever. Again, you have questions about, is this a bad thing? Ask. I'm pretty much available all the time. And then occasionally you run into people who drive their cars like this or run their research like this, and you look at it and say, it's not a real, that's a heck of a way to run an airline, that's a heck of a way to run a lab. You're not really doing research misconduct, but that's not a good way to treat people. That's not a good way to do things. It's possible we have allegations that end up with a finding of something called questionable research practices. And this just means that you're doing things that you really shouldn't be doing, and hopefully you can change your ways a little bit. A lot of the cases that I deal with are simply collegiality issues. What do you think? What's the answer? 80%. What do you think? Oh, you've seen this movie before. Just about all of them. We don't get too many altruistic people calling us from Nebraska saying, well, you know, I read these 2 papers because I'm looking at this topic and there's 3 papers written on it in the world. And the second one looks exactly like the first one and it was written 20 years later and just thought you'd be interested. We don't get too many of those. We have gotten one exactly like that. But mostly it's something that bad happened. There was some sort of a breakup. A postdoc left, things didn't go well. Two collaborators, it didn't work. A student who used to be in a person's lab is no longer in a lab. So please, these are things that are really important that might start out small, but can lead to bad things. And trust me, we give this same kind of a talk to the graduate students. And I see a lot of nodding of heads when I give this to the graduate students, I'll be honest with you. And speaking of that, when I do give my talk to the graduate students, and I give them the long talk where they know exactly what research misconduct is, and I ask them, do you know of anything going on right now that would seem to be research misconduct? And we have them give their answers with clickers. There's no reason to lie, even if half of them do. Basically, half the people in the room, and this I could put this slide up every year and it's the same answer. About half the people in the room say, yes, I know of something that's going on right this minute that fits your definition. I don't have 90 people in my office the next day. I might have a few down the road. So, is it underreported? Yes. Does everybody do it? Of course not. But there are issues. We love to prevent things. Sometimes we make a difference. Call. 5-minute calls are huge. rio@msu.edu. We can hopefully solve a lot of things. We encourage it. You can be very obtuse about it. You can talk about hypothetical situations. Students like to say, my friend at this other university in the Big Ten, and I'll just sit there and nod and talk about their friend. I've been doing it with some of them for years, and that's fine. We like to prevent things. I mean, I've had investigators sit across the room from each other and try to figure out whose data are they anyway. And everybody knows they belong to George Perlis and the trustees, but the students forget that, and so do faculty sometimes. So we love to work these things out. This past year, we had a lot of advice cases, and I was really pleased about that, actually, because they were excellent questions, and I think we prevented a lot of bad things. So I'm the person that hopefully you only see today, but you can call me anytime, and please do, and I'll be there, and I'll give you the answers that go with our procedures. Thank you. And if there's any questions that are burning, but you know how to find me if there aren't. Great, thank you.